Hey folks, justice for the real whites here. Now before I get on today's video, you're probably asking yourselves, where's this guy been? Why has he not been uploading in the past few days? Well, I'll get to that right now. I've been on holiday, guys. I'm not going to go on holiday, I'm not going to go into details on where I've been, but let's just say I was up north and I had a great time. Not north up at the North Pole, but north up in Scotland. And I tell you, what a great time I had. I got to go on a boat. I got to go into the most northern part of Scotland, which was a nice thing. So yeah, I've just been on holiday and that's why I haven't been uploading. But I apologise for that. I'm now back in recorded action. So with that out of the way, let's go on to with today's subject. So today's video I want to talk about, be careful on who you be friends with in this world. This world has a lot of dodgy people in it, and a lot of scummy people in it as well. You've got people who act like they'll be your friend, but really they're just talking shite behind your back. Or they'll put on a facade in front of other people saying, oh yeah, this guy's my friend and I really like him and all that type of stuff. But really, when you're not about, they could be talking smack about you to their other friends, and they could be saying, oh, this guy's useless, he's a such and such and all this other type of stuff, And if it's not that, you'll have somebody who will pretend like they'll be your friend, but one day they'll try and make up false allegations about you just to get you into trouble for their own selfish benefit. And I've had this happen to me before. I had this guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but if you're watching this, you know who you are. I had this guy back, several years back, where he was pretending to be my friend. Like, when it was just me and him, he never put it on a facade around me. But when he was with other people, he'd always take other people away from me, and he'd probably whisper something to them about me. I knew he was talking smack about me, but he didn't have the guts to tell it to my face. But he'd take other people somewhere far enough away from me and probably whisper something false about me that isn't even true, just so they could have that other person turn against me. That's a tattletale, guys. Never be friends with a tattletale. But if you're watching this, you know who you are. But I've had people like that who will pretend like they'll be my friend, but really they backstab me. And if it's not that, you'll have friends who you'll go out with, they'll probably want to do stuff that you most likely don't want to do. Like, say, if you go to a pub or a bar somewhere and they want to have lots of drinks, but you're not a drinker yourself, they'll try and push it onto you and say, just have one pint or, one glass of something, And when you firmly put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to do it, they turn against you. So why should you be friends with people like that then? If you want to stand your ground, just say to them, if that's what you want to do, you do it, but I'm not going to do that. For example, if a friend told you to jump into a river or to jump off a bridge, would you do that? Because I sure as fuck I would never do that. So that's all I'm saying, guys. Just be careful on who you be friends with in this world, because you've got a lot of dodgy people, you've got a lot of scummy people, and you've got a lot of people who will put on a facade, basically. You'll have people out there who would want to do something, but you don't really want to do it. Or vice versa. Maybe you want to do something, but your friends aren't willing to do it with you. Like, say, for example, if you want to go travel the country somewhere and see something you've never seen before, your friends could be all like, oh yeah, fine, we'll do it, but they're not really interested in doing it, So if they're not interested in what you want to do, but you want to do it anyways, why should you be bothered being friends with those people? I don't know. And here's another thing too. In the past when you had like Facebook and MySpace and all this other stuff, they had this thing where, you know, oh, who can get the most friends or most followers online or whatnot. It's like, why would you want to have the most friends, you know? Would you really have a million friends who are just pretending to be fake and just, you know, saying that to make you feel good? Or would you rather have one true loyal friend who will stand by you every way and, you know, do stuff with you? Personally, I choose the latter, you know. I wouldn't want a million friends if I'm being perfectly honest, because a lot of them could just be saying that just to make me feel better, you know. I honestly don't know, guys. You know, just be careful on who you surround yourself with in this world. You know, try and keep people at an arm's length distance, because you never know what they could turn out to be. You know, and I've witnessed this firsthand. You know, I've had people who will pretend like they'll be my friend, but really they just backstab me. You know, I mean, I did have one or two friends, you know, I'm not going to name any names, but, you know, I did have one or two friends who did do stuff with me. Like, we went out on trampolines, went to shops, we played games together. You know, I did have one or two friends, but they didn't last very long. They got on and did their own shit, you know. But I suppose that's life. But, you know, if I was to have friends, I would only want like a minimum of 4 friends, because then at least I would know, I'd feel like they're being more real with me than having a million friends who I can't tell who's being real with me and who isn't, you know. People could just be putting on facades saying, oh yeah, I'll be your friend, I'll do this and all that, you know. But really, they'll probably talk smack about you behind your back. You know. Can't trust this place sometimes. You've got people walking by. It's none of your business what I'm talking about. Anyway, what was I saying, guys? Yeah, if you are going to be friends with lots of people in this world, just be selective about who you choose, because, you know, or if you do want lots of friends, try and study how they behave, or, you know, how they move, or what they say or whatnot. You know, don't like pretend like you're spying on them or anything like that. I'm not saying that, but just watch them closely and see how they act, and see if, you know, they really are being genuine or not. Because a lot of people will pretend like they'll be with you and, you know, they'll want to be your friend and all that, but really they could just be putting on a facade, you know, because they want to, you know, fit in, or just try and make you feel better, or just try, you know, ask for fame. That's really what it is, guys, you know. But really ask yourselves this: would you rather have, say, 4 real friends that'll be loyal to you, or would you rather have a million friends who you can't tell who's genuine or not? I'd rather have only 4 friends than a million friends, if I'm being honest. You know, and it's like subscribers and that as well to channels. You know, I don't care if I get a million subscribers or not. I'm not out here to boost my channel, or, you know, to get a million subs or whatever. I don't care if I've got 1,000,000, 100, 3, or 0 for that matter. You know, I'm just here to, you know, give my thoughts on what I think, and, you know, express my opinions basically. You know, if you like what I gotta say, cool. If you don't, cool. But, you know, I'd rather have, let's say, 5 subscribers who I know aren't fake people and aren't, you know, robots, or, you know, fake accounters. Just, you know, 5 real subscribers who I know are loyal to me, than having, like, say, 1,000,000 subscribers who I can't tell if any of them are bots, or, you know, real people, or, you know, just, you know, whatever, you know. You know. But anyways, to sum this video up, just be careful about who you be friends with in this world, you know, because a lot of people in this world are really, really fake, to be honest. You know, you get very few individuals on this planet who are genuine, kind and caring, and have got a good heart on them. But most people in this world are toxic, scummy human beings, and that's just a fact. You know, so if you are going to be friends with lots of people, but let's say some of them stab you in the back, well, it's your own fault. You know, this video tried to warn you, but, you know, this is just my thoughts. I'd rather have a few friends, well, not even a few, just 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 at most friends, and have, say, like 1,000,000 friends. That's all I'm saying. Anyway guys, this is just a quick video. I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm gonna, you know, do something with my day, but I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading the past few days. Like I said, I was on holiday and I had a few stuff in my mind, but I'll try and get some more videos pumping out as the next days go by, because I am on a week's break from work. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up for me, and I'll talk to you all another time. Goodbye.